beyond the boulevard.
An aspiring actress who made it big time in the afterlife. Peg Entwistle was born on February 5th, 1908 in the United Kingdom. Her parents were Emily Symes and Robert Symes. She had a very sad upbringing because both her parents split. Her mother died, and shortly after, her father died in a car crash. She worked on plays in New York City, one of which gained much attention, entitled The Wild Duck. Now, although Peg wasn't very notable in her acting career and isn't known today for her films or her plays, Peg did leave her mark on many people, including one little girl who went to go see the wild duck. She became enamored with Peg, fell in love with acting, and turned to her mother saying, "I want to be exactly like Peg Entwistle." That little girl was none other than Betty Davis.
Me!
Yes. Peg then married Robert Keith, an actor, in 1926, but divorced a year later because of his lies about previous marriages and children. He was also reported to be very abusive. Now, Peg suffered much in her upbringing and in her marriage, but always found solace in acting. She loved it, it was her escape, but she realized that maybe New York wasn't appreciating her talents. So she moved to Hollywood. When she moved to LA, she got her first film, 13 Women, from Warner Brothers Studios. She was so excited. This was going to be her big break, and she was going to show everyone. Now, as many know, sometimes not everything you shoot ends up in the final cut. Sadly, this was very true for Peg, because most of the scenes they cut were hers. Peg had less than 3 minutes on screen, and she was very devastated. The thing that she loved so much, no matter in New York or Los Angeles, it just didn't love her back. Peg also was known to suffer from depression, so a broken dream and mental illness didn't sit well, especially back then when mental illness wasn't exactly an issue. People didn't know about it, and you were crazy if you spoke about it. On Friday, September 16th, she told her uncle, who she was staying with at the time, that she was just gonna go out for a little while. She lied. The house was located on Beechwood Canyon Drive, which is very close to the Hollywood sign. In fact, every time Peg stood outside of her door, she could see it. You have to wonder, how many times did she speculate and did she think about doing what she did that night? Back then, the Hollywood sign was entitled Hollywood Land. It was a huge, huge sign, and today many locals see the sign and they see it. We think, yeah, it's big, but when you get up close to it, you realize the magnitude of those letters. Peg climbed up the Hollywood Hills, reached the Hollywood sign, and the only letter with a ladder was the H. Peg climbed up the H and dove head first. The next day, a woman saw a shoe and a purse. She wondered, "What's this?" and opened the purse and saw a suicide note. The note said, "I'm afraid I am a sorry for everything. If I had done this a long time ago, it would have saved a lot of pain. The woman then alerted authorities and they moved Peg's body. Peg left this world very young, very sad, and with a lot of unfinished business. You could tell she loved what she did and she didn't want to let it go, but she couldn't go on suffering. Now, many to this day say that she hasn't left. Many report seeing a woman in a long 1930s gown, blonde hair, looking sad and confused, wander about the sign. The second they approach this woman, she turns around and vanishes. Others report smelling gardenias, and now, if you know the area, you know that gardenias don't grow around the Hollywood sign. And even if they did, most reports say they smell strongest in the winter. And even if flowers did grow around the Hollywood sign, there's no flowers growing in the winter time. And it is reported that Peg's favorite scent when she was alive was the scent of gardenias. So it's a way of her making her presence known. One of the last and probably most chilling accounts is when people will see her jump. Many who study the paranormal will say that some ghosts repeat a particular event over and over and over, and this seems to be true for Peg. LAPD will get calls all the time about people in a frantic saying, "A woman just jumped from the Hollywood sign." This is so popular that LAPD already know the story and they've been through this before, but you never know, and they always go check to see if it might be someone real. But it's always Peg. That was the story of Peg Entwistle. Thank you for watching Beyond the Boulevard, and tune in next episode for a hauntingly good time.